All right. So today we are going to be talking about Finnish tunes. Debbie and I talked about this months ago because she has this wonderfully eclectic library of things. And so I said, what do you want to do? January, what do you want to do? I was actually thinking something warm, but Mexican tunes. That's what I said. But she said, "How about Finnish?" I said, "Oh, actually, I think that would be really, really popular." And so I promised I would show her because I know not. I said a lot of you are from Minnesota, from the Upper Midwest, but I was a little surprised because I did talk to someone who was wondering why I put Finnish tunes in my set, in my Scandinavian set, and I was surprised that he asked. So I'm going to quick share because I love visual aids here. I'm going to, come on, where is it? I'm going to quick share this map for you. And so this is a census of 2000. So it's, a couple decades old, but I think it's probably still pretty true today. But this just shows you where all the Finns in the United States are. And so when we talk about a lot of Finns being in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, and northern Minnesota, we are not joking, all right? we not be playing. So lots of Finnish culture, Finnish American culture in that part of the country. Clearly, Eric and I were talking before this that yes, there's some in the New York culture, and I think Eric, you were saying that's also an older tradition. I think people would have come to New York and then made their way to the UP. But you can clearly see that the bulk of the Finnish population, people who still consider themselves Finnish, are in the Upper Midwest. So, needless to say, Finnish music, when you play in the Upper Midwest, it tends to kind of permeate. I learned the Finnish polka at an Irish session in St. Paul. uh, we would play Metsäkukia and old time music. I mean, it's like, oh, my favorite Finnish story is like we called Metsäkukia, and Eric's wife stood up and sang it in Finnish, and I thought, yep, I am in the Twin Cities now. So these are experiences that are kind of normal when you hang around Minnesota, and they're not necessarily normal in other parts of the country. So, with that brief introduction as to why we are, so enamored with Finnish music, I'm going to introduce Debbie Greenblatt, who's going to run through some of the tunes that she has in her collection of Finnish tunes for twos. So I'm going to mute and I'm going to let you go. And I think everyone else is muted. Yeah. We're looking good. All right, I'm going to mute and we're going to turn it over to Debbie.
Great. Well, thank you all for coming. For those of you who know me, thanks for coming anyway. And for those of you who don't know me, you'll know me a lot better in another hour. And then you'll know if it was worth it or not. It's just one of those things. We're going to start. I had what I thought was a full program, but then I got a couple of requests. So we're going to do the requests first. And this is actually a schottisch, which is slower than a lot of the fast stuff that we usually do, and it allows room for the dancers to do a little jump in the air in the middle of the phrase. Also, it's about the same tempo as the Greenblatts, the walking tunes.
Greenblatt.
Yeah. Did I hear an echo or was someone talking? Okay, never mind. So I'm thinking tempo-wise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumbs up if that tempo is okay. Now I see. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, go. lot of these arpeggiated doodles that are so much fun to do. That's a C major descending and then ascending arpeggio. It's very fun, and it happens on page 2 as well. Well, not so much there. Starting at measure 25, there's several occasions of this kind of thing. Here it is. So it's a G major, then it's a D7, then it's a G major. Oftentimes when patterns like that would occur in works I was trying to learn in college, and my fiddle teacher said, okay, you need to tell me what those chords are. And I'm thinking to myself, but that's why I avoided piano. I don't want to think like that. He said, no, you need to do it, you need to do it. And so I can do it better now than I did then. It's just so interesting. I find it helps to memorize a tune if you have an idea of what it's doing. Is it moving by step? Is it skipping around? Is it repeating too many times? That kind of a thing. To be able to observe those patterns is very fun. And also, now that you know that it's a schottisch, when you have other schottisches, good luck spelling that, you might want to put them in a medley for dancers. You want to keep the tempo steady. So, anyone have any problems with any of this? It's pretty straightforward. D minor. It's such a great key. It's like that was, I guess, my first introduction to D minor, and it's so nice. So this could be a variety of tempos. If you've got healthy dancers dancing at a moderate tempo, that's the tempo you should do the waltz. Also, you could think of this as a mazurka. You could count it either 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3, 1. You know, giving each third beat a little more of an oomph. So, good luck. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Here we go. wrong note. Where was it? Unmute yourself if you think you know where my wrong note was. I don't see any takers. You see, and it was a big mistake, and I felt really guilty, but I had kept going. And it wasn't too bad. Now let's see if I can remember what I did. I don't remember what I did either. Well, no wonder you don't either. So that's the way it goes.
Doing the Ellen polka?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it is not, I don't think. Well, when I hear it, I'll know, right?
Yes, as long as I play it right.
You'll know it, Mary Pat.
And what I like to do with this is play it all the way through just the way it is. And then I want to go back to the beginning and do the whole thing an octave higher. I don't know how many of you have experimented with that option of, I want to do it different. The dancers are still dancing. But just to change octaves, it's just so much fun. And it's a polka. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ready, go. Just changing the octave, not even worrying about double stops. You want it to be a little special, so you change octaves. It's really fun. I played a couple wrong notes. Anyone want to take a guess as to what I did wrong? You're such a nice crowd. What did I do wrong? Somewhere in there. I don't know, it was somewhere in there. Ends of phrases. Ends of phrases are very dangerous because if you're thinking too much ahead, which you sort of have to do when you're driving, you can't just look immediately ahead of you. You've just got to, and then you get distracted. It's very easy to do the wrong thing. But what I like doing at the top of page 2, instead of just the E, an E and a fourth finger on the A string, just real brazen. So it goes, and then you can keep that open E going. I'm sure my husband's is bemoaning the distortion. Sorry, honey. is kind of fun. And then if you can manage it, use the harmony below that note. So you've got a D, and then with the C, do an F sharp on the bottom. That's so much fun. Try that. An open D and a third finger. And then a low 2 on the D string for the F sharp. And a second finger on the A. And then a G underneath the B. Those kind of patterns, they feel good. And once you get used to doing them, when you have the opportunity to see inserting it on the page or, in your ear, it's really easy to do. Another thing I like about this tune is when you put the accents where the snare drum would be if there was a snare drum. So particularly at the beginning, or where you would be snapping your fingers. So it would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I would go an accent on that first 16th, and then on the next to the last 16th, another accent. So it's... And then you can always add, just for fun. If you're doing it an octave higher, so it'd be and just adds a little zest to the thing. And then you've got a couple of those wonderful occasions of, let's see, yeah, very typical, really kind of nice. I like just ending with the harmonic E. It's really fun because we don't get to do it very often. So when we do get to do it, the audience will know something was going on. Questions on that one? Okay. Now this is a tune, when I first learned it, the only indication I had of the title was that it was a humpa, which is a fast dance. And so I just notated it that way in my notes. And then I found out, oh my God, it's got a title, it's got real words. I have no idea what they mean, but there you are. It's very fun. And I played this for a wedding recessional one time. The bride was getting married, a student of mine was getting married right on our front lawn. And so all our neighbors were getting on their porches to watch the wedding. And I had this planned for the recessional, and the bride's mother asked me what the recessional was going to be. And I said, oh, it's a surprise. Because I didn't want her to misinterpret what the possible meaning of humpa was. Yeah, you got to be careful. And the bride was fine with it. She was just great. Yay. Okay. And I do it in a different key now, and that's a very fun thing to try. If you have a tune that you like, and it just doesn't quite feel like you just have to change the key. Or in this case, if you want to avoid the flats, that would be a good idea. But we're not going to avoid the flats because they're good for us. Moderately fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Here we go. If we just left it like that, it would be perfectly lovely. But over the years, I've just decided I wanted to play it at a different key. So right there, it's G minor, but I like to do it in A minor. And I like to do it in 2 octaves, so I do it the first time in the lower octave. And I start with the second section. That's how I've always learned it. Anyway, let me just do it at the upper octave, and I'm going to start roughly with the measure 9. Now I have to think. I didn't count on having to think. Oh, don't laugh, Mary Pat. You've seen me think before. Okay. There I go. No, that's D minor. I don't want to do it in D minor. I'll do it up there. It's a little easier. Definitely A minor. just changes the whole mood of the thing. And I really like using harmonics when I can. I know a lot of traditional fiddlers hardly ever even consider that as an option. So when I do it, they get all impressed. It's kind of fun. And the nice thing is, once it's up there, you can let go of the bow and the finger, and the sound will stay there for the split second that it will take you to get wherever it is you think you want to go. And it lasts. And that is certainly a technique to try when you're auditioning new fiddles. See how long that harmonic will last without you having to do anything. It'll be a split second, but boy, it sure makes all the difference in the world. It's almost a dotted quarter, dotted eighth. Anyway, I really like it. This is a great tune.
Man, I am really enjoying the fact that you just decided to take the different sections and put them in different order. Because I know some of the conversations you've had about, like, and I've heard other fiddlers as well, just like, hey, feel free to change keys, do some, especially some of the Scandinavian stuff. It seems like that was, certainly you could do that. But this idea of being able to change the parts around, because I've heard other tunes that I keep thinking, man, if I change the parts around, I might like it better. So,
yeah, it's your recipe for the tune. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be someone else's grandmother's recipe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't know quite when I started doing that or why, but it was, yeah, because I've been playing the tune a long time. It's just great. Any questions? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Watch out for the key change. In particular, Matt, you should watch out for the key change.
I see that B flat. I love it.
Sure, that you say that now. Respect to the flats, yeah. It's tough, they're weird. So often the beginning fiddle books and stuff that kids get at school, you'll stay in D major for so long, it's ridiculous. And the flats are just, they need to be there. It's just, you need them for a mood change. Anyway. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Isn't that a great tune? I like doing, let's see, what did I do there? Okay, measure 7. I like using the harmonic A and sliding up to it because it's fine. So from the previous measure, and then not to be outdone by that previous measure. Start from the F natural, go up to the F sharp. So then it turns out more like a back and forth in the school play yard kind of thing. Sort of like a nya 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 kind of situation. I like it. I have no idea what the word means. I'll have to research more. But you know what a black hole it is, you know, with the internet and the YouTube and everything. You just have to manage your time intelligently. So I guess that was mostly what I wanted to talk about. You guys, it appeared like you got through the key changes okay. And it's kind of abrupt, but it's good to have that, particularly for dancers. You go to a different key for a while, 8 bars, 16 bars, and then you go back to the original key. It just energizes them a lot. And so when I put medleys together of tunes for dancers, I try to make sure that it's not all in D. They'll fall asleep on the floor, and that's just really embarrassing. So,
Debbie, can I ask a question?
yes, please.
Can you explain a little bit more about your harmonics? Like, which string are you on? I've
Okay.
never done such a thing in my life.
Okay, and it's kind of hard to tell, and that's okay, because I have 6 strings. I have an E and an A and a D and a G and a C. Yay! So what I'm doing to get that first harmonic, let's see. I'm placing my 4th finger on the A string, and then I slide up. Faster than that, or you get sick and tired of it waiting. And that's the A. I think that was the only harmonic I used in this one. And then to imitate that same phrasing. So it's sort of like a question and answer kind of a thing.
So the harmonic, you're splitting the string in half, right? So if someone's not familiar, so it's about halfway through and you're just touching the string.
Yeah.
Physics is it plays an octave up, right?
With the little finger, and you could certainly do it with any of the other fingers. It's just when you do it with the little finger, then your other fingers are just not involved, and then people watching are trying to figure out what the heck is she doing. It's more dramatic.
Right. Now go back to the next note. Do you go like screaming down with your second finger, or what? How do you get back?
I hadn't thought of that. No, I don't think so. No,
How do you do it?
Well, it's that magic of the harmonic. As long as you've got a decent fiddle and the strings are okay and the bow is responding, the harmonic will last longer than you play it. So, and the time it takes for it to die out, you're already where you want to be, wherever that is. And then again, it's magical for the people watching. There'll be a certain amount of people in the audience who won't care about what you sound like. They'll just want to see what you're doing. Like that would be bad. And even if I leave my bow on the string, it'll still last. So my bow is still on the A string, which is where I want it for the exact next note. So I do stop my bow, and then I lift my finger and I race like hell to get down to that C sharp. Does that help? Gotta be brave. Like I say, it's an underused detail in fiddle playing, but so often it's just
Can you do it in slow motion?
Oh, husband, sure. I just did. Didn't I just do that? Okay.
Slower.
Anyway. Slower. Okay. Is that slow enough, honey?
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Well, that does, yeah, the slow motion does kind of demonstrate the physics of it. It's like you're not going to hear it, you're not going to hear it, you're not going to hear it, and there it is, right? It's has its physics, right? It's just that's the little magic spot in the string that if you touch it, it's going to be an octave up, ring, and yeah, bring you back. So you'll know it when you find it, right?
Right. And as Mary Pat pointed out, it is exactly it's right in the middle of the vibrating of the string. It's right in the middle of the string, measuring from the nut to the bridge. Yeah. Yeah. And it's the same place on the other strings for the other stuff. I love my C string. And that lasts even longer. Yeah. Now, this one, as I was working on it, it occurred to me it could possibly pass for a klezmer tune. I'm doing a lot of klezmer playing lately, and it's very interesting because these musicians would move around and play all sorts of places for all sorts of functions. So, who knows where it came from for sure. So, and there's nice syncopation, and in the second measure you've got like an eighth rest, and then da da da. So it actually goes. So right for that eighth rest, either lift your bow and then descend at the exact moment you need to for the A. So you could go, which is a little risky. I almost didn't make it that time. Or you just stop your bow for the length of that eighth note. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's very jazzy. Okay, so let's try it. D minor, great key. What could go wrong? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Here we go. Very jazzy. And it just reminds me of all sorts of tunes. Let's see, what's the name of that one? Bello Ciao, Bello Ciao, Bello Ciao. Wonderful revolutionary tune from Italy. And there was even a time where people couldn't play it, but it had that same kind of a joyful, semi-militant kind of feeling. So when I go like from that second section back to the first section, let's say the dancers are still dancing, I'll take it to the second ending. Oh yeah. Fits right together. You just keep it going, 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 going. Nice pick, Eric. It's just a great song.
So just a question probably for either Debbie or Eric. So I'm assuming a hoompa is a special kind of a dance. So I wouldn't play for anyone who would know how to dance it, but could I get away with putting it like in a polka tempo and just doing it as a polka? Would that be too sacrilegious?
Well, to really be kosher about it, you would have to change the time signature to a 2/4.
I suppose.
Well, no, that would make it more convincing. There are people who would see the 2/4 and they would believe you. Weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so
Johanna would actually probably be able to answer that one better
okay.
than
So
I
Johanna,
can.
do you have an opinion on that? Like, if you just kind of did a polka tempo, could I get away with it?
I'm not sure I'm completely qualified to answer. I mean, sometimes we'll play a hoompa, and part of that dance is kind of like a flat polka. So it wouldn't work so well for a Finnish, really bouncy, zippy polka. But we've got folks who do that kind of flat polka to it, absolutely. And that is part of the hoompa dance. So yeah.
and I do know I looked it up and I found it's Mansica means strawberries. and it's a jenka, and I have not been able to find out exactly what a jenka is, but if it's in two, it would be appropriate for a polka. It just depends on how knowledgeable your dancers are, but you could do it as a polka. But I'd say a moderate polka.
Yankee is often another name for schottisch.
I'm getting my pencil. I'm going to pause for a minute to write this down. Well, that makes sense as far as I know the tune, tempo-wise. It shouldn't be a fast thingy. But yet, to really be extremely knowledgeable, we would all have to do all of the dances all of the time. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. So in that second half, if the triplets intimidate you, you could just play the first note of the triplet and then just play the next eighth note. Whoops. But it's also another good spot for harmonics. I took a workshop, a recorder lady, recorder player was doing a workshop on practicing, and she was quoting a lot of scientific stuff and big words and things. And one of the things that I thought was very interesting, she said the research has shown that when you play a lick correctly, it helps burn a neural pathway in your brain somewhere. If you play it wrong, that too burns a neural pathway. So her theory was, based on all these studies that I completely forget about, but she said generally if you can do the little lick you're working on 3 times in a row, then you are much more likely to get it right the next time you play it, whether it's an hour later or the next day. But if you only play it so that you can play it once correctly, that may not be enough for the neural pathway to go where it has to go. So 3 times, which was fairly comforting, because in another practicing workshop I took, this guy thought you needed to do these little licks you're working on 22 times in a row. Ew. So this is much more fun. Theoretically, it should work. So I find that very interesting. But yeah, that whole harmonic thing, again, on the A, going from a 4th finger up to halfway. It just rings, just a different texture completely. I want those cookies.